Hello and welcome to yet another adventure of Indy Life Adventures. And tell our audience where we're at today.
All right, so we are on the Chesapeake and it's a little spicy today.
Yes, and you can probably hear the motor running. We are motor sailing on our way back from Cambridge, going back to Solomon's Island.
Yeah, so it's a small craft advisory from 10 o'clock this morning until sometime tomorrow. What about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bad.
It's a little windy, it's a little gusty. I think we're gusting up to about 17 and a half to 18 knots.
Yep.
We had the sails up for a little while as we were coming out the chop tank, but
we pulled the Genoa back in and then we reefed the main. So we're at reef number 2. And so we are motor sailing because also in the direction we're going, the wind's right on our nose. So it doesn't even matter if we have a sail out because it's not doing much of anything right now.
Right, so basically as we got out into the Chesapeake, or just to the edge of the mouth of the chop tank and the Chesapeake where they meet, the wind was getting a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
And so we decided to pull our jib in, or a head sail, or whatever you want to call it. And we decided we'd put a heavy reef in the main. And that way, once we decide we can get back on the wind and have a good angle on it, we'll hopefully not have to worry too much about any being overpowered.
Yeah.
So in any case,
yeah, it's noon on Sunday and quite overcast today. We headed out from Solomon's to Cambridge, Maryland on Friday, and it was a gorgeous day. It was, I mean, again, remember, this is November, and on Friday, November 8th, I mean, what was the temperature? I mean, it was warm.
80 degrees, I think.
Yeah,
upper
at least,
70s.
Yeah, upper 70s for
degrees.
sure. But there was not hardly any wind on our way to Cambridge.
Oh, wait. You were supposed to go live from the Chesapeake.
Live from the Chesapeake.
Sorry, we had to go back. We had to take it back. Anyway.
Continue. So yeah, so putting this all in order, we have a 4-day weekend because it is Veterans Day weekend. So Friday is when we hit the water heading for Cambridge, Maryland. It was our very first time taking the boat there, our very first time being there.
Yeah.
We had reserved a boat slip using the app Docwa and reserved it for Friday night and Saturday night at Cambridge Yacht Basin. And it took us, let's see, we headed out at 7 a.m. on Friday and pulled into their marina about 3:30. They were fantastic. The dock master or whoever was manning the radio, he talked us in and told us what to do and where to go. And then he met us at H-Dock and helped us tie up and gave us a little welcome packet and told us about where all the restaurants were and gave us just a quick overview. So that was super duper helpful.
Oh yeah.
And we just stayed in that night. We walked the dogs and then just walked around the marina itself, but grilled some dinner and didn't explore Cambridge until Saturday. So all day yesterday, we just walked around Cambridge, tried out the brewery.
Oh yeah.
And
but tell them about our sail. Our sail was amazing. Like, okay, so we motored because there was very, very little wind.
Very little wind,
or
and
the
what
wind that
little
was there.
wind was right on our nose, no matter
yeah.
which direction. It was crazy. It was like the wind was messing with us, and every time we'd make a turn into the Chop Tank River, the wind would turn with us.
Yeah.
But it was an absolutely beautiful day for November.
And when we pulled into the marina, how nice was it?
It was like you could not have asked for easier conditions to go into a brand new marina. It was just calm water, sunny. It was perfect and not crowded at all, I imagine, because it's November and many people have probably winterized their boats already. But yeah, there's not much traffic at all. We've seen a couple boats, but not the normal that you'd see in the summertime.
Right. So it was a good sail up. The city was really cool. A good motor.
We did put out the sail, the head sail for about
3 miles.
And that was it. Otherwise, we just motored.
And it got us about a half a knot of speed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we're motoring back now to Solomon's Island, but we've had the sails out more than we did on the way up.
Yeah.
But it got really spicy, so we brought the sails back in because we were heeling like crazy, and we know that as the day progresses, the gusts are going to get worse and worse.
Right.
So we went ahead and pulled in the Genoa and then put a reef in the main, and then hopefully we'll eventually get the wind not on our nose and be able to sail a little bit.
Yeah, so looking at the models, the wind's actually supposed to be coming directly out of the south, but it's not. It's coming about southwest across the Chesapeake, and it's not being very helpful. So right now we should be able to sail, but we're not. And then once we turn, we should be good, but I'm just wondering at what point in time the model and the wind are actually going to marry up to each other.
Yes.
So,
And there's no sense of urgency to get back to our slip at Calvert Marina.
except for the gusts are going to continue to get worse.
Yep, except for that. Because otherwise, I'd say we could tack our way back across the Chesapeake. The only things that are really timely is making sure we get back in enough time to give the dogs a bathroom break, and that we get back into our slip before the wind makes it more difficult.
Right. But let's talk about Cambridge.
Excellent. Yes, go for it. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I thought it was a cute little town.
Adorable.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That is the most slate roofs I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
And
talk
it
about
was-
the church.
Yeah, the church was the first one I think we spotted. It was a church from 1680 something, I think,
Yeah.
on Church Street, which I imagine that street is named after the church. It was beautiful. It was a stone church with a slate roof and absolutely beautiful. And
Really tall, like turret, section with a spired roof, right? Like just jutting towards the sky. And I don't even know how anybody would actually put the tiles
yes,
on there without having some sort of rope and belay system.
it was such a steep roof. That's all I could think about is how did they even put the slate tiles on there?
Right.
Because I don't know how. I would not be going up on that roof ever. But there were so many historic houses, and we only walked a mile, maybe 2.
for the first walk.
Well, it just even overall, once we walked downtown.
We did a few miles. We
You
did a
think so?
couple. Yeah, I think it was
I feel like-
it was probably a mile and a half.
I feel like we did not cover much ground, but that we saw it all. I think it's at least we saw all of the downtown area. This is
Yeah.
where Harriet Tubman is from, so they had lots of historical markers.
Right, and the Underground Railroad was actually through a lot of this area.
And so there were historical markers in lots of places.
Historical markers and murals. They had
Yep.
murals. No, it's kind of a neat little place, right? And then, what else was there? Oh, the skipjack.
Yes.
So there was the last skipjack, something of Dorchester.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Like-
Something of it wasn't Chief of Dorchester.
No, it was like a
but-
like a name, like a man's name, like
Oh.
Hammonds of Dorchester or something like that. Anyway,
But this boat, we had seen it whenever we were sailing in or motoring in.
right, it was
We had
out there.
passed it
Yeah, we passed
in the
it
chop tank.
in the chop tank, way further out, closer to the Chesapeake.
But then once we were docked up there at the marina on Saturday, we saw this same big skipjack sailboat, I guess at its port of where it stays, because
Right,
there
and
was
so-
even historical signs describing it.
But let's talk about that, right? What's significant about that boat?
That is the style of boats they use to catch oysters in the Chesapeake.
That's right. That's exactly right. And if that was the last of those boats,
This one was built surprisingly in 1994. I
Right.
would have thought it would have been older than that, but I think it was built in the historic manner that the older ones had been built in.
right? And the cool thing is that if you look back, and I would suggest looking up another video that you can find. You can even find it on YouTube. It's
Woo! We about got spray all the way back here.
The Oystermen of the Chesapeake and the Watermen of the Chesapeake. It's a little documentary series. Who was that? That reporter, famous, super famous, from back in the day.
I don't know.
You don't know of any famous reporters? No famous
Katie Couric?
No, it's a male.
I'm trying to think of the guy that was always like, and that's the rest of the story.
No, that was Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey.
We're not talking about Paul Harvey. We're talking
I
about.
love Paul Harvey.
Yeah, no, go further back. But anyway, I can't remember the guy's name. We're gonna Google it online right now.
Oh, which makes me realize we should probably be watching our course while we're filming.
I have been, but you haven't been. All right,
Yeah.
so
I'm sure everybody's riveted to know which.
famous reporters from the 60s. Walter Cronkite. That's it. See, I knew it.
Well,
All right.
first one that came up.
All right, so I'm pretty sure it was narrated by Walter Cronkite. And anyway, it's a really cool little documentary. It talks about the watermen of the Chesapeake and the oyster boats and all that stuff. And it really gives you a good history of it. But going back to that is, at one point in time, you could only harvest oysters under sail.
Okay.
You weren't allowed to use motors. Now, they did have a little, like, a dinghy or something like that would use to, I'm not sure if they used that to kind of go out and pull the dredge up or what they were doing with it, but it was part of their toolkit. But the act of pulling the oysters aboard was actually, you're only able to do that under sail until, I don't know, a certain point in time, and then you could use motor.
Very cool.
So anyway, I thought that was really cool, and it was really cool to be in that area to be able to see some of that history of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yes, I'm curious for our viewers to let us know in the comments if this movement of us on the boat causes any motion sickness on your end or not. Because I imagine watching it may be a little weird, like we're just feeling it.
Yeah.
But if this causes you any kind of motion sickness, let us know.
I'll switch it around. We could continue talking, but we'll let you, how we're riding. Man, that's not, oh, there we go. Okay.
So yeah, you can see there through our Bimini. And if you were able to see down in the cabin, you'd probably see Dookie Bear. Biscuit's in there too. They're just along for the ride. Biscuit definitely handles the movement much better. Duke is uncomfortable with it all. So
Yeah.
we go down and give him cuddles just to reassure him that everything's okay.
But yeah, so you can see this is what we've been doing the entire time we've been coming across the bay. And really what we're trying to do right now is get a good angle on the wind. It's dead on our nose, and it shouldn't necessarily be that way. But I think once we get a little bit of distance across here, we're gonna cut back, and that'll give us the wind coming across our starboard side, and that'll allow us to maybe throw out the head sail a little bit and maybe pick up a little bit of speed. Because I think right now we're averaging about 5 knots, which is better than we were doing earlier, maybe 4.5. But it'll speed us up a little bit, hopefully.
All right, I'm gonna flip us back around.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah, so the one thing this has taught me, because this is our first trek into a different port, it's taught me that it's all within reach. So I'm super excited to study up on the different ports of the Chesapeake and choose some that maybe are in alignment with the direction of the wind. I feel this first one, I chose it. I was like, let's go to Cambridge. But the wind would have been much better for us to head down like to the mouth of the Potomac instead of going north toward Cambridge. But it is exciting just to realize this is all doable.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to the future exploration that we're going to do here. And it's a shame that it's now November, because I'm sure we're going to get too cold to continue much over the winter. But I don't know. This jacket's pretty darn nice. It's cutting the wind very well. Like, I am super comfortable. So we'll see how far into the winter we can keep going.
Oh yeah, it's the H&H, right?
Yes, we picked this up at the Harrington Harbor yard sale that they do once a year. There was somebody selling this jacket, and everybody around here seems to wear these, but they are extremely expensive in the stores. So I picked it up at the yard sale. Still probably, I mean, I felt like it was still a lot
Was
of
it
money.
Helly Hansen?
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
But holy cow, this is my first time wearing it,
Right.
and it is phenomenal.
They're
Like
super
now-
popular in Japan, by the way.
Oh yeah, we saw them in Japan also.
They really liked them over there. But it's a really good sporting outdoor brand that is kind of really leans towards sailing.
Yeah, I can tell why. There's no
Yeah.
air getting through here. I'm
Yep.
quite comfortable.
And you got a nice jacket. It's got
you.
reflectors on it, and it breaks the wind for you.
Yeah.
And the sleeves. Talk about the sleeves.
They're comfortable.
They keep the wind from blowing up.
There is. There's like an inner liner that wraps tight around your wrist, so like there's no air flowing up my arm. Which, let's talk about your jacket. You're modeling the Army's finest.
That's right. I'm wearing my Gore-Tex. My
Oh,
old.
yeah.
This was
Old
like
style,
This wasn't the
digital
old,
camo.
but this is like
The
when
medium old.
The medium old. Like I had older, but this is the medium old.
The medium old,
Yeah,
but it works.
but it works.
It was supposed to be rainy today. So far, we haven't received any rain, but we were prepared just in case.
Well, and I really threw it on because it breaks the wind.
Yeah.
Earlier this morning when it was cooler, the wind was kind of blowing right through my hoodie. But I've got my hoodie on, and then I've also got my bib overalls on, and they're more like ski pants. These aren't like Carhartts. They're really kind of like pretty thin comparatively. These are like Eddie Bauer brand, so they're not necessarily.
You don't say.
Yeah, they're more like what you'd wear skiing.
Okay.
If you wanted to look like a hillbilly skier, you know?
Yeah, because they look like Carhartts.
Yeah.
The color of Carhartts.
Exactly. So, but they're not bad. They're nice. They're a little quilted, insulated, and they keep the wind off my legs. And then throw the hoodie on over it, and that keeps you nice and cool. It gives you a little pocket for your hands. But I went ahead and cover that up with the Gore-Tex because the wind was blowing through and it was cold this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll be on the water about 8 hours today, and I feel like I was really using my time wisely earlier in practicing my knot tying skills.
Oh yeah.
Because I kind of suck at tying knots. Even though I've learned how to tie knots many times in the past, when I don't practice it, I just forget it. And it always is evident that I'm not a very good knot tyer when it comes time to reposition the fenders around the boat whenever we're docking. So
I don't think that's just a you problem. I think that's probably just it's more or less the problem with the fenders and how we've got them set up. But
well, today I practiced for quite a while on tying a bowline. So I'm ready. When we get back to the marina and put our fenders back where they normally go, I'm ready to tie those suckers on.
tie them on.
So I figure if I can just remember how to do a bowline, then I will add to my knot repertoire as we continue sailing, because oftentimes, especially when we're motoring, you set the autopilot and there's nothing to do except look for fishing patches so you avoid the little floating fishing
Buoys.
buoys, I
Yeah,
guess.
the floats or whatever.
Especially when there's no other boats out here, and hell, it looks like it's an average of like 60 feet all around us in every direction. So we don't have to worry about running aground right now.
No. Right now we just got to worry about the wind.
And it's for real right on our nose.
Yeah.
So our main sail is out at reef point number 2, but it's not doing much for us.
Yeah, and then once we make this turn up here, we'll go ahead and pull the head sail out. Looks like there's another sailboat over there.
Oh yeah, they don't have any sails out, but they are probably motoring in the opposite direction.
Man, if I were them, I'd have a sail up.
Oh, I know. They're going in the right direction for the winds. But anything else to say on our Cambridge excursion?
I don't know. I just want to show you guys some of the view off the side of the ship,
Yeah?
the boat.
Well, take them for
We're
a
not,
little
we're not
walk.
really a ship off the side of the boat, so you
Just
can kind
be
of see.
very, very careful if you're walking around with that camera. Maintain 3 points of contact. I do not want to practice a man overboard drill.
Safety first.
Indeed, please, safety first.
But anyway, no, I'll show you guys what's going on the side of the boat since you hear all the splashing and stuff.
All right, thanks for watching.
All right. As I drop it. All right. Hang on a sec. Well, that's about it. We got 1 to 2 foot waves predicted for the day, and actually, it's not too bad. It's actually better on this side than it was when we were out in the middle. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're good.
But yeah, once we cut back, and the wind's going to come off to our, should come off to our starboard side, I think we'll probably get some wind and maybe pick up some speed. What are we doing now?
Got all our phones mounted on the
Oh yeah.
on the
All
nav
right.
station
So
here. We're at 4.7 knots.
Yeah, we're averaging about 4. I'd say 4.5.
We've been on the water for 5.5 hours. We've
And-
gone 26 miles so far.
And we have another 20 miles to go.
So a little over halfway.
Yeah, we're over halfway. And it's man,
Almost 1 o'clock.
almost 1 o'clock.
I guess I should think about making us some lunch.
Maybe so. So it's almost 1 o'clock and we're over halfway, but
That means we still have quite a ways to go.
I wish we were further along.
Yeah. So, all right. We'll
But
have to think about these dogs and making
Oh,
sure
yeah.
they get to the bathroom.
But no, we're doing good. And if you look, well, you can't see, but off to our right, we're actually coming up to the Calvert Power Station, and then we'll have the platform, the oil platform down here. It's not oil, I'm sorry, it's a natural gas where they do some offloading and loading of ships, right?
Yeah.
But in any case, I think that's it. We just want to give you guys a little bit of chance to see us on the water in the middle of it, out in the small craft advisory for the next almost, I guess, 24 hours, right?
Oh, the small craft advisory is 24 hours. We're not going to be out here for 24 hours.
No, we're not going to be out here for that much longer. Hopefully we'll be back in the next 4 hours.
Yep.
So anyway, anything
Yeah.
else you want to say?
Nope. Thanks for watching, and fingers crossed that we'll get some wind and be able to use our sails a little bit more.
All right, Cambridge was great. I recommend it.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.